Hello, people. This is the time of the pandemic, and it's been a minute since I've been here, and I think I lost my momentum, and I don't know why. I thought for sure the pandemic would give me some sense of inspiration, and it didn't. It slowed me down, and I just sort of got complacent. But I'm back, and I'm glad to be here. And what we're doing today is I'm gonna clear off my desk. I have to clear off this art table paper, but I want a collage on it because I have some stamps that I've carved that are of homes and houses, sort of appropriate right now. So I want to paint, collage, pull it together, somehow make it look like it's something, and then remove it, start with a clean slate. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna get started because I've waited long enough. This is my art table paper, and I had stamped out a whole bunch of different circle designs because when I filmed Hand Carved Stamps Made Simple, I sort of had that on my desk for reference and for people to kind of see the different options while they were also watching me carve stamps. But I have also painted on it since then and drawn on it and scribbled and smeared inks and stamped more on it, and I'm just gonna throw some gouache down and tone it down a little bit, and I'm just gonna use this really light color blush, and it's okay if it sort of shows through a little bit, but I just kind of want to bring the tone down because I know I'm going to be adding a lot on top of it, and it's pretty busy right now. Here I have the most recent house stamp that I've carved, and I've stamped it out with multiple color inks here, and then I stamped it another time without re-inking it, sort of gave it a nice shadowy look. I've stamped it with single color, and then I added color on top of that with my Posca pen and some white details too. But I'm gonna stamp it out again and show you how to do it with the two different color inks. So with larger stamps, it makes much more sense, and it's certainly easier to have the carved impression facing upwards so you can see where you're placing the ink and how much ink is getting applied. And now the two different inks on this stamp is pretty straightforward because of the simplicity of the design, so it makes it very easy to do. And it's sort of self-explanatory here. Also, with stamps of this size, it really is important to focus your attention on making the impression complete, meaning all parts of the stamp come in contact with the paper. And you will be able to figure this out as you do different test stamps and try it out different ways. So here I'm just reapplying a second coat of ink on the bottom half of the house, and I'm going to let the top part, the roof, have sort of a lighter color on this next impression. So with several of the houses cut out and somewhat arranged, I'm ready to start gluing them down. And I'm going to use a matte medium. And this is going to be somewhat of a decoupage style. You could certainly use a glue stick, but I like the soft, smooth effect you get when you use the matte medium by adhering the medium onto the paper, onto the surface, and then applying it on the back of the cutout image thoroughly, and then right back on top of the area that you prepared and a little bit on top. And it works out really well, and it gives a really nice smooth effect when it's finished. So I decided not to use the purple and orange house that you saw me stamp out earlier. No particular reason, I just really didn't find a place for it here on this paper, and I'll just save it for something else later. Now I'm going to start stamping on it, and I've got this little square stamp that I'm going to use to sort of give some little house silhouettes. And I'll add a few of those around, and then I have this other little triangle stamp that I'm going to stamp on top of it. And yeah, I'm just going to play and see what happens. Now I'm going to add some greenery in the village, and I'm going to start with a little green, a light green, and I'm going to distribute it amongst the houses, and then I'm going to move to a darker green, maybe a few other shades. We'll see how this goes. Now I could paint some flowers, but I think I'm just going to go straight to stamping them. And I'm going to start with a larger couple of different flower stamps, and then I'm going to add some leaf stamps, and I'll probably finish with some smaller flower stamps. And I think I might be done after that. I might add some line work, but I want to be done with this because I want to move on to other projects. So as I'm stamping this out, I'm making sure not to cover up that little purple flower. And I sort of do that as I go through this process. Some areas I'll stamp on top of things and sometimes I won't. So it's just sort of a playful process. So if I want to give the impression of the greenery behind the houses, I use a little Post-it note that has an image of the house stamped out, and then I cut it out and then I stick it right on top. And then when I go to stamp on it, the leaf only stamps behind the house, where the house is. Well, I'm glad that's finished. I've had that paper on my desk for too long. The bottom of the edge of the front of my desk, the paper that wraps around underneath, had already started to fray. It was just ready to be removed. Clear the decks and start over. And in that creative process, I was able to make this little imaginary village. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in Photoshop and refine it a little bit. Maybe I'll cut it up and collage with it some more. Maybe I'll make it into a book. I don't know. But I am intrigued to do some more houses. I even have some houses transferred to some more rubber material that I want to explore. Different styles. This one's kind of cute. A little, I don't know if you can see that. You can see this. A little cottage. And that's what I'm going to do next. So you're going to have to come back. Obviously, this time of Corona is something that no one on this planet has ever experienced before. And it's an opportunity. I'm not the first to say this, and I won't be the last. But we have an opportunity to explore our creative side. We have a chance to look at creativity in a deeper, richer way. And that's a good thing. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I do know that we are all going to be slowed down for a while. And that's a good thing. Hopefully we will be transformed in a way that awakens us and humbles us and helps us realize our responsibility for taking care of this planet. And that's definitely a good thing. And this is YouTube. You guys, you've heard me say this before. You know what to do. Thanks for watching.